What's going on, guys? Kiger here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the best characters for Omega War and Alliance Omega War. Let's get into it. Alright, so real quick, I just want to say that this list was made more so for Alliance Omega War. These things can still happen in regular Omega War, but there's a lot more testing that can be done in Alliance War because you control all the variables, right? You control your entire team, who's there, what you can do, and your makeup. And in this, I want to tell you guys who I think performs best overall, and what you want in your team when you do Alliance Omega War, and this can also go towards regular Omega War. Unfortunately, number 9 is right here, Magic yet again. Unfortunately, so she does have some cool things she can bring to Alliance War, with her pit on the ground, her anti-dodge, which has a nice little AoE to it. Those are some pretty interesting things that she can bring, but other characters can do the same thing, but better. Next, this is going to be a real controversial one, but I think Storm is number 8. She can get in, do the bubble, do some big AoE, but against the upper level alliances, and this is from my experience and several other people I've talked to, in the higher up alliances, a Storm is really a hindrance. Just because, yes, they can come in and bubble and mess with targeting, but a lot of the better players, you are down a player if your Storm is bubbling. You can sure, she takes some hits, kind of like a wannabe tank, but she also can't attack. She can throw down lightning cloud, electric explosion, things like that, and do some decent damage, and her electrocute still hits like a truck, but I think other characters do the same things but better. Going into that, this is what's going to be controversial, is number 7, Captain Marvel. So I'm going to get a lot of questions about why Marvel is over Storm. And that's because I believe Captain Marvel is a whole lot more versatile than Storm, because Marvel is a brawler. She can go in there, get in the thick of things with her defense buff and her ultimate, which is a cannot guard skill, which is an AoE knockdown. Doesn't matter how far away you get from when she clicks the ability, if you were in that range, you're getting knocked down, unless you burn a dodge or a Widow Vanish. Even if you do bubble, there's a chance, because of latency and timing, that you can be knocked down. Captain Marvel also has a bunch of damage, as well as she actually has a trait that you can go into. When she's flying, she gets 15% bonus attack. She has another one that gives her 20% attack, and if you go into the new Stark City build, you can have 60% bonus attack during your ultimate. So this is just percentages on percentages on percentages, and if you do the focal energy shot, someone's dead. Next, we go into Star-Lord. Star-Lord is in a really, really good place for Alliance Omega War, even regular Omega War, because the Frost build in a regular Omega War does really well because you're doing AoE guard damage. So you're really helping your allies chip people down, and you can actually punch up really well because you're focused on the guard, and then you're letting your allies focus on the HP. As far as the Flame build, can do some nice AoE with the Flame Cannon on a 6-second cooldown. Bam, bam, bam. And then you can kind of maneuver around, so you can dodge in elemental cannon, and then dash back out. Not to mention, I didn't even talk about his best thing, is noise cancellation. Lob it in, everyone's fucked. It's a slow and an anti-dodge. It's an anti-dodge as long as they're in the AoE, and then it's a slow, so it's harder for them to get out of the AoE, making really everyone messed up. One of the best things is that because a bunch of his skills are AoE, he can target Hulks, which with Alliance Omega War right now, it's really 20 on 20 because of the Hulks, even 30 on 30 if you have the full team. But he can attack the Hulk and then kill everyone around because of the AoE. Next, we'll get into Iron Man, which I have as number 5, and that's going to be some questions from people. But so all he really brings is damage. He does some good damage, but all he's really bringing is damage. I've seen some really cool things because he has a build where he can get 30% guard damage and then really try to take people out of the air. But as you'll see, other characters just do that better. His spin blades makes him a decent point holder, but as you'll see, the top 3 are just better at that. Like I said, you'll see a lot of Iron Mans in Alliance War. He's good. You want X number of blasters on your team, but he is just that, a blaster. Number 4, we got Strange. Strange is a really key player in Alliance War. You can even I can bring this Strange in at 500k. I just get some PvP decrease, and you will notice the difference of him on your team. He can give so a really interesting one is the Defense Pierce buff. While yes, everyone does focus on Defense Pierce, and specifically Alliance Omega War, you know the other 14 people in your team. They can swap out their cores to get more crit damage, or to go towards more attack, other things, and then you come in clutch with the Defense Pierce. You also have a cooldown buff. You also have some really decent damage with Ring Repulsion, not to mention Confusion and Taunt. Taunt really got a buff recently because of all the big updates pretty recently, but you can taunt and then drop a Hulk, which forces another taunt. So you're guaranteeing one person in your Hulk taunt, and then your Confusion, really, you are a protector for your team. Doesn't seem like it, but you're just in the mid to back line putting out the battlefield control, and that's really what Strange brings to this Alliance Omega War setup. Number 3, I got Spider-Man. Spider-Man really pushes number 2, but I felt weird if I had Spider-Man at number 2, in several videos, and people would think that there's some bias going on. But Spider-Man, because of what I talked about before, is if you have 3 Spider-Men on your team, maybe one of them has a Spider-Man companion, you really have 4, and they go off of each other's webs. Meaning if one Spider-Man's applying web, and then this other Spider-Man comes up, they can go off of those webs. Meaning I applied 4, Buddy comes through and applies 3, cocoon. And then normally, as you know, they can normally get 4, maybe 5 extra webs on you before you come out of the cocoon. If they have good cooldown, maybe they can cocoon lock you. But if there's 2 Spider-Man, there's no question, you're done. And number 2, we got Widow. And the reason why I have Widow at number 2 and not number 1 is because she can't do anything in the air. Yet she can get to a lot of places and get most of the field. If she runs up the middle pillar, she can get to most of it. But there's little areas in the corners that she just cannot get to. As well as if your ally calls for help on the right tower when you're on the left, you can get there, but you have to maneuver in such a way that you may not get to the battle when it's time to fight. But Widow does have more damage than Iron Man, I believe. She can hold points much better because of her exploit weakness, because of her vanish. It's 16-second cooldown, and it's a 7-minute war. How many vanishes am I going to get, right? And number 1 is Captain America. AoE shield, AoE provoke, silence, invulnerable. One of the second fastest character in the game. You can literally just walk past everyone, pick up crystals, have some HP recovery going. So when you walk over crystals, you're out healing the damage that they're dealing to you. Shout out to Steel 16 Squad, who does this remarkably well. He is 3 million power, but even if he was in the 2 range, he would still be able to do this same strategy. So what's real interesting is when you have 2 to 3 Captain Americas, which is really the break point. I think you want 2 to 3 is they can go back-to-back shields, like I do the shield and then he does the shield, or because of the provoke buff, AoE provoke into AoE provoke, meaning big AoE, no one can use their skills. Put that into his ultimate, which is the second highest possible damage skill in the game. He just has so many things going for him. Let me know in the comment section down below what your list is, what you think I missed on, if you think I got this right. I got great feedback on my last video saying they believe it was spot on. I got a couple people saying, you know, maybe match 7 and 8, maybe swap a few things. But besides that, I've got really good feedback on the last one. Let me know how you feel about this one. If I get 100 likes down below, I'll try to keep doing this. Until next time, guys.
Are you interested in buying yourself some Marvel merch? Some amazing hoodies with your favorite character on it? Like Spider-Man, Loki, and Venom. Go click the link in my description box now and get some awesome discounts from 20% up to 60% off. They offer you free worldwide shipping on orders over $39.90. So, what are you waiting for? Link in the description.